Have you ever wondered what truly makes a man tick? What's really happening behind the calm exterior when he's smiling at you, when he pulls away, or even when he surprises you with a sudden burst of vulnerability? If you've been searching for the keys to decode his thoughts and emotions, you're in the right place. Let's face it, understanding men can sometimes feel like trying to solve a riddle without a clue. But what if I told you that there's a simple way to crack the code using proven psychological insights that are both practical and transformational? In this article, we're diving into 10 psychological facts about men that are not only surprising, but also empowering. These aren't your everyday dating tips. They're the secrets that can elevate your approach to relationships and give you an edge in understanding the men in your life. From what men really want in love to the subtle ways they communicate attraction, each fact offers a fresh perspective that will help you connect with him on a deeper level. But here's the catch. You'll need to read till the end to truly grasp the nuances of these facts. Each one builds upon the next, creating a complete picture that's bound to leave you saying, "Why didn't anyone tell me this before?" So, are you ready to dive in? Get ready to discover the truth about men, learn how to navigate their emotional world, and master the art of building lasting attraction. Stick around, because the last fact is a game changer that will forever shift how you see relationships. Let's begin. 1. Men crave respect over love. Let's start with one of the most surprising truths for men. Respect often outweighs love. Yes, you read that right. While women may feel deeply fulfilled by expressions of love and affection, men interpret love primarily through respect. It's not that they don't want to feel loved, it's that respect is how they experience love. Think about it. How often do men light up when they feel acknowledged for their efforts or praised for their decisions? This is no coincidence. From a psychological standpoint, a man's self-worth is often tied to how he's perceived by those around him, especially his partner. Respect isn't just a nice-to-have for men. It's essential to their emotional well-being. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever unintentionally dismissed his ideas or belittled his choices, even in a joking way? How did he react? Chances are, he may have pulled back emotionally or grown distant. This isn't because he's oversensitive. It's because respect for him is a form of emotional security. Here's where you can turn things around. Instead of focusing solely on grand and romantic gestures, try shifting your approach. The next time he shares an idea, big or small, make a conscious effort to acknowledge it. Say things like, "That's a great perspective. I hadn't thought of it that way," or "I trust your judgment on this." Watch how his demeanor changes. He'll feel seen, valued, and more connected to you. Respect also plays a crucial role in how men handle conflict. Unlike women, who may prefer to talk things out immediately, men tend to retreat when they feel disrespected. This isn't about avoiding the issue. It's their way of protecting themselves from emotional overwhelm. By approaching disagreements with empathy and focusing on solutions instead of blame, you'll create a safe space where he feels respected, even during tough conversations. But here's the real magic. When you consistently show respect, you're not just meeting his emotional needs, you're also deepening his love for you. Respect isn't a one-way street. In stoic dating, it creates a feedback loop of trust, admiration, and attraction. And as Stoicism teaches, emotional control and mutual understanding are the foundations of a healthy relationship. So how will you use this knowledge to transform your dynamic? Start small, compliment his problem-solving skills, acknowledge the little things he does for you without being asked. These seemingly minor acts send a powerful message. I see you and I appreciate you. Respect isn't about stroking his ego. It's about building a partnership where both of you feel valued and empowered. When you master this, you'll notice a shift in how he opens up to you, how he prioritizes you, and how deeply he invests in the relationship. Because at the end of the day, every man wants to feel like he's your hero. And by showing respect, you're not just telling him he's loved, you're showing him he's irreplaceable. If this first insight resonates with you, imagine what the next 9 will reveal. Stay tuned, because the next psychological fact will take you even deeper into the mysterious yet fascinating world of men's emotional needs. Ready for more? Let's continue. 2. Men need space to recharge. Here's a truth that might challenge how you approach relationships. Men need space to recharge. This isn't about you or how much he cares. It's about how he processes emotions and stress. While women often seek connection and conversation during difficult times, men operate differently. They retreat. They may pull away to be alone, go quiet, or immerse themselves in their hobbies. At first, this behavior might feel confusing, even hurtful, but here's the good news. Understanding this need can transform your relationship. Why do men do this? It all comes down to psychology. Men are wired to handle stress and emotional challenges in a compartmentalized way. By stepping back, they create a mental space where they can process their thoughts without external pressure. This doesn't mean he's shutting you out. He's simply recharging his emotional batteries. Think of it like a reset button. Once he's had time to sort through his feelings, he's more likely to re-engage with clarity and focus. Now here's the real challenge. How do you respond when he needs this space? Do you feel tempted to call him out, press for answers, or assume the worst? It's natural to want reassurance, but pushing him when he's in this state can backfire. Instead, try shifting your perspective. Respect his boundaries and trust that his retreat is temporary. Let him know you're there for him when he's ready, but avoid the urge to chase. This doesn't mean you should ignore your own needs. In stoic dating, balance is key. While he's recharging, use the time to focus on your own growth. Dive into your passions, connect with friends, or pursue new interests. Not only does this give him the breathing room he needs, but it also shows him that you're confident and secure, qualities men find irresistible. Think of it this way. When you allow him the space to recharge, you're giving him the gift of coming back to the relationship stronger and more present. And trust me, he will notice and appreciate your patience and understanding. Men are naturally drawn to women who can handle this balance with grace. But here's a question to reflect on. What would happen if you saw his need for space, not as rejection, but as an opportunity? An opportunity to show that you trust him and value his individuality. That shift in mindset can create a deeper bond and help your relationship thrive. As Stoicism reminds us, patience and self-discipline are powerful tools in navigating relationships. By staying calm and composed when he pulls back, you demonstrate emotional strength, a quality that strengthens trust and attraction. So, are you ready to put this insight into practice? The next time he needs to retreat, remind yourself, it's not about me, it's about him. Support his need for space, and when he returns, you'll notice a renewed sense of connection and appreciation. If this resonates with you, let us know in the comments. Like this video, and comment number 1 if you're enjoying these insights so far. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next psychological fact. It's one that will completely change the way you view his emotional world. 3. Compliments are more impactful on men. Here's a fascinating truth that's often overlooked. Men are deeply affected by compliments, sometimes even more than women. While society often assumes that men are impervious to praise or affirmation, the reality is quite the opposite. In fact, a thoughtful compliment can leave a lasting impression on a man, boosting his confidence and deepening his emotional connection with you. But here's the catch. Men don't always show how much a compliment means to them. They might brush it off with a simple thanks or change the subject entirely, but don't let that fool you. Underneath the surface, your words have likely struck a chord. Why? Because men receive far fewer compliments than women, especially as adults. Society doesn't condition men to expect frequent affirmations, so when they do come, they stand out as rare and valuable. Think about it. When was the last time a man in your life, whether it's your partner, friend, or even a colleague, was genuinely complimented? Was it something generic like, "Good job," or something personal that made him pause and smile? Here's the truth. Compliments that are specific and sincere have the power to create an emotional ripple effect. For example, instead of saying, "You're smart," try something more detailed, like, "I really admire the way you approached that problem. It was creative and thoughtful." This brings us to an important question. What kind of compliments do men value the most? While every man is different, most men cherish praise that highlights their strengths, abilities, and contributions. Compliments about his intelligence, skills, or even his sense of humor often hold more weight than generic remarks about his looks. That's not to say physical compliments aren't appreciated. They are. But pairing them with recognition of his deeper qualities shows that you truly see and value him. Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine he's had a tough day at work, and you notice he seems a bit withdrawn. Instead of pressing him to talk, you say something like, "I know today was probably challenging, but I really admire how hard you work. You're amazing at what you do, and it doesn't go unnoticed." Can you imagine how those words might shift his mood? That small moment of affirmation could be exactly what he needs to feel supported and appreciated. But there's more to this than just boosting his mood. Compliments also play a significant role in building attraction. When a man feels seen and valued, he becomes more invested in the relationship. This ties into one of the principles of Stoic dating, creating a dynamic of mutual respect and recognition. Compliments are a subtle yet powerful way to show that you respect and admire him, which in turn makes him want to rise to the occasion and give his best to you. Here's a tip. Timing matters. Complimenting him when he least expects it, such as during a casual moment, or after he's done something small but thoughtful, can make an even greater impact. For instance, if he fixes something around the house or helps you with a task, take a moment to acknowledge it. Say something like, "I don't know what I'd do without you. You're so reliable. It means the world to me." Moments like these stick with him, and they reinforce his desire to keep showing up for you. Another key factor is authenticity. Compliments only work when they're genuine. Men can easily pick up on flattery that feels forced or insincere, and it can have the opposite effect of creating distance instead of connection. Instead of overloading him with constant praise, choose your moments wisely. A well-timed, heartfelt compliment carries far more weight than superficial remarks scattered throughout the day. Now, let's address an important misconception. Some people think complimenting a man too often might inflate his ego. But in reality, most men don't receive nearly enough positive reinforcement. Compliments aren't about feeding his ego. They're about showing appreciation and creating emotional intimacy. In fact, they can often soften a man who may appear stoic or guarded, making him feel more comfortable opening up to you. Here's another angle to consider. Compliments aren't just about the words you say. They're also about how you say them. Your tone, body language, and timing all play a role in how your words are received. A soft smile, direct eye contact, or a playful tone can amplify the impact of your compliment, making it feel even more special and personal. But remember, not all compliments need to be serious or deeply meaningful. Playful compliments can add a touch of fun and flirtation to your interactions. For example, if he's wearing a new outfit, you could tease him with something like, "Wow, who are you trying to impress today?" because it's definitely working. These light-hearted moments can keep the spark alive and show him that you notice the effort he puts into his appearance or actions. As Stoicism teaches us, small intentional acts can have a profound impact on our relationships. Compliments are a perfect example of this principle in action. By choosing to uplift and affirm the men in your life, you're not only strengthening your connection with them, but also creating an atmosphere of mutual respect and appreciation. So, how will you use this insight moving forward? Start by observing the men around you, your partner, your friends. Notice what they're good at, what makes them unique, and what they contribute to your life. Then, take a moment to express your gratitude or admiration. You might be surprised by how much it means to them and how it deepens your bond. Compliments may seem small, but their power is immense. They're a simple yet profound way to make a man feel valued, confident, and connected to you. And as you incorporate this practice into your interactions, you'll find that your relationships become more vibrant, meaningful, and fulfilling. Stay tuned, because the next psychological fact will uncover another surprising truth about men that you won't want to miss. Let's keep going. 4. Men are more action-oriented. Have you ever felt frustrated when a man doesn't say the words you want to hear or seems reluctant to express his emotions verbally? You're not alone. But here's a powerful truth. Men are naturally more action-oriented than word-driven. For many men, love and care aren't just spoken. They're demonstrated through what they do. Once you understand this, you'll start to see his actions in a completely new light. Why is this the case? It's rooted in both psychology and societal norms. From a young age, men are often encouraged to solve problems, fix things, and show strength through action rather than through emotional expression. This doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. They absolutely do. But for men, the expression of those feelings often comes in the form of what they do for you rather than what they say to you. Think about the small, thoughtful actions he takes. Does he fix something in your home without being asked? Does he go out of his way to ensure you're safe? Does he show up for you during tough times without hesitation? These are all powerful indicators of his feelings, even if he doesn't verbalize them. To him, these actions speak louder than words ever could. Now here's a question for you. Have you been so focused on waiting for the grand romantic gesture or the perfect "I love you" that you've missed the quiet ways he's been showing his love all along? If so, don't worry. You're not alone. But recognizing and appreciating these actions is a game changer. When you start to see his behavior as a reflection of his feelings, you'll begin to notice how much he truly cares. For example, if he prioritizes spending time with you despite his busy schedule, that's not just a casual decision, it's an intentional way of showing that you matter. If he goes out of his way to solve a problem or offer help, he's not just being helpful, he's demonstrating his commitment and value in the relationship. Here's the secret. Men thrive on recognition for their efforts. When you notice and acknowledge the actions he takes, you're reinforcing his natural way of expressing love. A simple comment like, "I really appreciate how much you do for me," it means a lot, can make a world of difference. It not only validates his efforts, but also deepens the emotional connection between you. But let's not forget the importance of reciprocity. Just as men show love through action, they also notice the ways you engage with them. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful and intentional in our relationships, and this principle applies here. What actions are you taking to show your appreciation, support, or affection? Relationships flourish when both partners invest effort, creating a cycle of giving and receiving that strengthens the bond. Here's a scenario to consider. Imagine you're upset about something, and instead of diving into a long conversation, he quietly starts solving the problem. While you might prefer to talk through your emotions, his instinct to act is his way of showing he cares. Understanding this difference can prevent misunderstandings and help you approach situations with more empathy. But what if his actions don't always align with your expectations? This is where open communication becomes crucial. Instead of assuming he doesn't care, try expressing your needs in a way that resonates with his action-oriented mindset. For example, instead of saying, "You never tell me how you feel," try something like, "I feel closest to you when we spend quality time together. Could we plan a date this weekend?" This approach invites him to act in a way that bridges the gap between your needs and his natural tendencies. It's also important to recognize that not all actions are created equal. While some gestures are clearly thoughtful and intentional, others may feel routine or obligatory. The key is to focus on the consistency and sincerity behind his actions. Is he showing up for you in meaningful ways? Is he making an effort to support your goals or alleviate your stress? These are the moments that reveal his true character and intentions. Here's something to reflect on. How can you create opportunities for both of you to express love in ways that feel natural and fulfilling? This might mean planning an activity together, tackling a project as a team, or simply being present during moments of joy or challenge. When you engage with his action-oriented nature, you are not only meeting him halfway, but also fostering a deeper connection, a connection that transcends words. And here's the best part. Once you understand this about men, you'll start to notice these action-driven expressions of love everywhere. It might be as small as him picking up your favorite snack on the way home, or as significant as supporting you through a major life decision. Each act, no matter the size, is a reflection of his care and commitment. So, how will you use this insight in your relationship? The next time he does something thoughtful, pause and acknowledge it. Show him that you see and appreciate the effort he's putting in. And if you're feeling extra bold, challenge yourself to take action as well. Whether it's planning a surprise for him, offering your support, or simply being there when he needs you. If this resonates with you, let us know in the comments, like this video, and comment number 1. If you're loving these insights so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the next psychological fact. It's one that will help you understand his emotional vulnerability in ways you never thought possible. 5. Physical touch builds emotional connection. When it comes to love and relationships, physical touch is far more than just a romantic gesture. It's a powerful tool for building emotional connection, especially for men. While society often focuses on the emotional and verbal ways women bond, men often rely on physical touch to communicate their deepest feelings and forge a sense of closeness. This is not just about intimacy in a romantic sense. It's about the subtle ways touch can convey trust, affection, and understanding. Why is physical touch so significant for men? The answer lies in both biology and psychology. Physical affection stimulates the release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, which fosters feelings of closeness and security. For men who may find it challenging to express emotions verbally, touch provides a non-verbal way to connect on a deeper level. From a simple hand on the shoulder to a warm hug, these gestures can mean more to him than words ever could. Let's explore a scenario. Imagine you're sitting together after a long day, and you gently reach over to touch his hand or rest your head on his shoulder. To you, it might feel like a small, casual action, but to him, it's a moment of reassurance. It tells him, without words, that you're present, that you care, and that he's not alone. These quiet moments of physical connection can speak volumes in a way that resonates deeply with men. But here's the thing. Not all touch is created equal. The key is to make your touch intentional and meaningful. It's not about overwhelming him with constant gestures. It's about timing and authenticity. A gentle, spontaneous touch during a heartfelt conversation or a playful nudge during a light-hearted moment can create a sense of intimacy that strengthens your bond. What's even more fascinating is how touch can act as a bridge during conflicts or moments of tension. When words fail or emotions run high, a simple act of physical connection, like placing your hand on his arm, can help de-escalate the situation and remind both of you of the emotional foundation you share. Touch has a calming effect, signaling that despite the disagreement, the bond remains strong. However, physical touch isn't just about comfort. It's also about creating moments of joy and excitement. Playful touches, like lightly tapping his arm while laughing at his joke or a spontaneous hug from behind, can add a spark of fun and energy to the relationship. These gestures show that you're not just there for the serious moments, but for the light-hearted, carefree ones too. So, how can you use physical touch to deepen your connection with him? Start by observing how he responds to different types of touch. Does he lean in when you hold his hand? Does he smile when you ruffle his hair or hug him unexpectedly? Every man is unique, and understanding his preferences can help you tailor your gestures to what makes him feel most loved and appreciated. It's also worth noting that men often associate physical touch with a sense of trust. When you initiate touch, you're signaling that you're comfortable with him and that you value the connection between you. This can be particularly important in the early stages of a relationship, where touch can help build a foundation of trust and mutual affection. But what about men who seem hesitant or reserved about physical touch? This is where patience and communication come into play. Some men may not have grown up in environments where affection was openly expressed, making them less accustomed to giving or receiving physical gestures. In such cases, it's important to move at his pace, gradually introducing touch in a way that feels natural and non-threatening. Over time, as he becomes more comfortable, you'll likely notice him initiating touch as well. Another aspect to consider is how physical touch aligns with your shared moments of vulnerability. For example, when he's opening up about a challenge or expressing an emotion he rarely shows, a simple touch, like holding his hand or placing your hand on his back, can create a safe space for him to share more. It tells him that you're not just listening, but that you're emotionally present and supportive. This is where stoicism comes into play. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of balance, self-awareness, and intentional action. By incorporating physical touch into your relationship thoughtfully, you're practicing these principles in a way that nurtures both you and him. Touch becomes a tool for connection, not just a reflex or habit. Now, let's take it a step further. How can you incorporate physical touch into everyday moments? It might be as simple as greeting him with a hug after work, holding his hand during a walk, or leaning on his shoulder during a movie. These small acts create a rhythm of connection that weaves affection seamlessly into your daily lives. But don't underestimate the power of surprise, a spontaneous gesture, like pulling him into a kiss when he least expects it, or wrapping your arms around him while he's focused on something else, can inject a sense of excitement and playfulness into the relationship. These moments remind him that love doesn't always have to be serious. It can be light, fun, and unpredictable. Physical touch is one of the most instinctive yet profound ways to show love, and for men, it often carries more weight than words. When you learn to use touch thoughtfully and intentionally, you're not just expressing affection, you're building a bridge of connection that strengthens the bond between you. It's a quiet, powerful language that doesn't require words, only presence. Take a moment to think. How often do you use touch to communicate with him? Are there opportunities to incorporate it more intentionally into your relationship? As you reflect on this, remember that every touch, no matter how small, has the potential to bring you closer together. And that's the beauty of it. It's a simple yet profound way to show love, one gesture at a time. 6. Men are drawn to confidence and independence. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how a man's attention seems to linger on a woman who carries herself with quiet confidence? She walks into a room, her head held high, radiating self-assuredness, and suddenly, it's as if the air shifts. That's because confidence is magnetic, and for men, it's irresistible. Add a sense of independence to that, and you've just unlocked a powerful combination that draws him in and keeps him captivated. Why is confidence so alluring for men? Confidence signals self-awareness and security. It shows that you know who you are and what you bring to the table. When a woman is confident, she doesn't rely on external validation to feel complete, and that's incredibly attractive. Independence amplifies this effect because it signals a balanced, fulfilling life beyond the relationship. Men are drawn to women who have their own passions, goals, and interests because it creates a sense of intrigue and respect. But here's the real kicker. Confidence doesn't mean being loud or overbearing. It's not about commanding every conversation or proving you're always right. True confidence is quiet and effortless. It's about being comfortable in your skin, expressing your thoughts without fear, and embracing your unique qualities unapologetically. Now, let's break this down. What does confidence look like in your daily interactions? It could be as simple as maintaining eye contact during a conversation, speaking with clarity and conviction, or walking into a room with an open, approachable demeanor. Confidence is less about what you do and more about how you do it. And trust me, men notice. Independence, on the other hand, keeps the dynamic fresh and exciting. Think about it. When you have your own interests and pursuits, it creates an air of mystery. He's left wondering, what drives her? What makes her tick? This curiosity keeps him intrigued and invested in getting to know you on a deeper level. Here's where it gets even better. When you cultivate confidence and independence, you're not just attracting him. You're also building a healthier, more balanced relationship. A woman who knows her worth doesn't settle for less than she deserves. She sets boundaries, communicates her needs, and approaches love from a place of abundance rather than fear. This empowers you to connect with him as an equal, not as someone seeking validation. But let's be real. Confidence isn't something that happens overnight. It's a practice. a mindset you nurture over time. One way to build it is by celebrating your achievements, no matter how small. Did you tackle a challenging task at work? Acknowledge it. Did you learn something new or push yourself out of your comfort zone? Celebrate it. Each of these moments strengthens your sense of self and reminds you of your capabilities. Independence works the same way. By prioritizing your passions and goals, you're not only enriching your own life, but also showing him that your happiness doesn't hinge on his presence. This isn't about creating distance, it's about maintaining your individuality while fostering connection. Now, let's address a common misconception. Some women worry that being too independent might push a man away. But here's the truth. A secure, emotionally intelligent man won't be intimidated by your independence. In fact, he'll admire it. It shows him that you're not looking for someone to complete you, but rather someone to complement your already fulfilling life. Here's an example. Imagine you're on a date and the conversation turns to your interests. Instead of downplaying your passions, you speak about them with enthusiasm and confidence. Whether it's your love for art, your dedication to fitness, or your career ambitions, sharing what lights you up makes you irresistible. It shows that you're multidimensional, a woman with her own dreams and desires. But confidence and independence don't just attract him. They also create a dynamic where he's inspired to step up. When he sees that you hold yourself to high standards, he's motivated to meet you at your level. This dynamic fosters mutual respect, one of the pillars of Stoic dating, and as Stoicism teaches, a strong relationship thrives on balance, resilience, and self-awareness. Here's a practical tip. The next time you're tempted to downplay your achievements or overextend yourself to please someone, pause. Ask yourself, am I showing up as my most authentic, confident self? This simple reflection can shift your mindset and empower you to act with intention. But don't just take my word for it. Try it out. The next time you're in a social setting, challenge yourself to embrace your confidence and independence. Engage in conversations with curiosity. Express your opinions freely. And don't shy away from showing your unique personality. You might be surprised by how magnetic you become. So, how will you use this insight to elevate your relationships? Confidence and independence aren't just traits, they're a lifestyle. When you embody them, you're not just attracting the right man. You're also creating a life that feels vibrant, fulfilling, and uniquely yours. If this resonated with you, let us know in the comments, like this video, and comment number 1 if you're loving these insights so far. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss the next psychological fact. It's one that delves into the emotional vulnerability men rarely show but deeply crave to share. 7. Men enjoy feeling needed. Men thrive on the feeling of being needed. It's a core part of how they experience value and purpose in a relationship. While the modern world champions independence, which is undeniably important, there's a delicate balance between being self-sufficient and creating space for interdependence. For men, this balance often manifests in their desire to feel helpful, relied upon, and appreciated for what they contribute to your life. Why is this so significant? From an evolutionary perspective, men have historically taken on the role of protector and provider. While societal roles have evolved, the psychological need to feel useful and capable hasn't disappeared. It's not about reinforcing outdated gender norms. It's about understanding that men often measure their worth in a relationship by how much they can contribute to your happiness and well-being. Here's a scenario. Imagine you're struggling with a problem, and instead of sharing it with him, you handle it all on your own. While your independence is admirable, he may feel left out or unnecessary, even if he doesn't voice it. On the other hand, if you ask for his advice or help, you're giving him the opportunity to step into a role that makes him feel valued and connected to you. Now, this doesn't mean you need to feign helplessness or rely on him for every little thing. Men aren't looking for someone who's overly dependent. They're drawn to women who are confident and capable, but still open to collaboration. It's about creating a dynamic where his efforts are recognized and appreciated rather than taken for granted. Let's look at a small example. Say you're assembling furniture and he notices you struggling. His instinct might be to jump in and help, even if you've got it under control. In that moment, allowing him to assist, or even just asking for his opinion, shows him that you value his input. These seemingly small moments add up, reinforcing the bond between you and making him feel like an essential part of your life. But it's not just about physical tasks. This extends to emotional support as well. When you share your concerns, hopes, or dreams with him, you're inviting him into your inner world. By doing so, you're signaling that his presence and perspective matter, and for men, feeling like they make a difference in your life is deeply fulfilling. Here's the key. It's not just about asking for help. It's about expressing genuine appreciation for what he brings to the table. A simple, "Thank you, I really appreciate you helping me with that," can go a long way. Gratitude reinforces his efforts and encourages him to continue showing up for you in meaningful ways. But what if he seems reluctant to step into this role? It's important to understand that some men may have been conditioned to suppress their desire to be needed out of fear of rejection or inadequacy. In such cases, patience and encouragement are essential. By gradually inviting him to contribute and acknowledging his efforts, you can help him feel more secure in this role. One thing to keep in mind is that being needed doesn't mean overshadowing your independence. Men are drawn to women who have their own lives, passions, and ambitions. What they're looking for is the opportunity to complement your strengths and feel like a valuable partner in your journey. This balance is beautifully aligned with Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us to embrace interdependence while maintaining our individuality in a relationship. This translates to creating a dynamic where both partners feel empowered to contribute and grow together. Let's bring this idea into a practical context. How can you invite him to feel needed in your everyday life? It could be as simple as asking for his advice on a work decision, his help with a home project, or even his thoughts on an idea you're exploring. By doing this, you're not just strengthening your connection, you're also fostering a partnership where both of you feel valued and respected. But there's another layer to this. Men not only enjoy feeling needed, they also notice when their efforts go unacknowledged. If you've ever felt him pulling away or becoming less engaged, it might be worth reflecting on how often you've expressed appreciation for what he does. Sometimes the smallest gestures of gratitude can reignite his sense of purpose in the relationship. So, how can you take this insight and turn it into action? Start by observing the ways he naturally tries to contribute, whether it's fixing something around the house, supporting you during a tough day, or simply being present when you need him. Acknowledge these moments and find ways to reciprocate. This creates a positive cycle of giving and receiving, deepening your bond and strengthening your connection. At the end of the day, men don't just want to feel wanted. They want to feel indispensable in the life of someone they care about. And when you create a space where he feels needed, appreciated, and valued, you're not only meeting his emotional needs, you're building a relationship that's grounded in mutual support and understanding. 8. Men dislike boredom. and crave adventure. Let's talk about something that often gets overlooked. Men absolutely dislike boredom. Whether it's in life, relationships, or even day-to-day routines, monotony can feel like a slow drain on their energy. Men thrive on excitement, challenges, and adventure, which is why keeping things fresh and engaging in a relationship is so important. If you've ever wondered why a man seems to lose interest when things settle into too much predictability, this psychological fact offers the answer. Why do men crave adventure? It's not just about thrill-seeking, it's about stimulation. Men are wired to respond to novelty and challenges. Whether it's tackling a new project, exploring an unfamiliar place, or navigating a dynamic relationship, this drive often stems from their need to feel a sense of accomplishment and vitality. When life feels stagnant, it can impact their mood, motivation, and even their sense of purpose. Here's the key. Incorporating adventure doesn't mean you need to plan extravagant outings or constantly be on the move. It's about creating moments that break the routine and add an element of surprise or excitement to your connection. Think of it as injecting energy into the relationship. A little spontaneity goes a long way. Imagine this. You're planning a quiet weekend together, but instead of sticking to the usual dinner and movie routine, you suggest trying a new activity like rock climbing, a cooking class, or even a road trip to a nearby town. The change of pace not only keeps things interesting, but also taps into his natural desire for new experiences. These shared adventures create memories that strengthen your bond and keep the relationship dynamic. But here's the real magic. Adventure doesn't always have to involve grand gestures. It can be as simple as showing curiosity and enthusiasm in everyday moments. For example, surprising him with a playful challenge, like racing him to the car after a dinner date, or introducing him to a new hobby you're passionate about, adds a spark that keeps things exciting. Men also respond positively to women who embrace their own sense of adventure. When you pursue your own interests, try new things, and bring energy into your own life, you naturally draw him into your world. This not only inspires him, but also shows that you're someone who values growth, exploration, and excitement, a powerful combination. But let's be honest, keeping things adventurous isn't always easy, especially in long-term relationships where routines can take over. The secret is to approach it with intention and creativity. Instead of falling into autopilot mode, look for ways to infuse fun and novelty into your interactions. It could be as simple as sharing a new joke, playing a board game you've never tried before, or suggesting an impromptu date night at a unique spot. One of the beautiful aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on balance and self-awareness. While excitement and novelty are important, it's equally vital to ensure that these elements enhance rather than disrupt the harmony of your relationship. Adventure doesn't mean chaos. It means being intentional about creating moments that bring you closer together while celebrating the joys of spontaneity. Here's something to consider. What does adventure look like for you and him as a couple? Is it about trying new activities together, exploring shared passions, or simply injecting humor and playfulness into your daily lives? Reflecting on this can help you identify ways to keep the spark alive and build a relationship that feels vibrant and fulfilling. But let's not overlook the importance of balance. While men crave excitement, they also need moments of calm and connection. Adventure is about enhancing your relationship, not replacing the quiet, meaningful moments that build intimacy. By combining the two, you create a dynamic that's both stable and exciting, one where he feels both energized and grounded, So how will you bring adventure into your relationship? Start small. Plan a surprise date. Suggest an activity you've never done before, or simply share your enthusiasm for trying something new. These moments don't just keep him engaged, they also remind him of why he's drawn to you in the first place. If this insight resonates with you, let us know. Like this video and comment number 1 if you're finding these facts helpful and inspiring. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss the next psychological fact. It's all about understanding the emotional sensitivity that men often hide. Stay tuned, because the next insight might just change how you see your connection with him forever. 9. Men experience emotional sensitivity differently. Men are often perceived as less emotionally sensitive than women, but the reality is much more nuanced. While they may not always show their emotions in the same way, men often feel things deeply, sometimes even more intensely than they let on. The key difference lies in how they process and express those emotions. Understanding this subtle dynamic can help you create a deeper connection with the man in your life. So why do men seem emotionally reserved? It often comes down to societal conditioning. From a young age, many men are taught to prioritize strength and composure over vulnerability. Expressions of emotion, particularly sadness or fear, are often discouraged, leading men to suppress or compartmentalize their feelings. Over time, this can create the impression that men are less emotionally attuned, but beneath the surface, their sensitivity remains intact. Here's the fascinating part. Men are highly receptive to emotional experiences, but they often channel them through actions rather than words. For example, if he notices that you're upset, he might not ask how you're feeling outright, but instead offer to help solve the problem or take care of something for you. This is his way of showing care and concern, even if he doesn't express it verbally. It's also important to recognize that men often process emotions more slowly than women. While women may be able to articulate their feelings in the moment, men might need time to sort through their emotions before they can share them. This difference in emotional timing can sometimes create misunderstandings. You might feel frustrated that he's not opening up right away, while he might feel pressure to speak before he's ready. The good news? There are ways to bridge this gap and help him feel safe enough to share his inner world. One of the most effective strategies is to create a judgment-free space for emotional expression. When he does open up, listen without interrupting or trying to fix the situation. Simply being present and empathetic can go a long way in building trust and encouraging deeper communication. Here's something to consider. How do you respond when he shows signs of emotional vulnerability? Do you lean in with curiosity and support, or do you unintentionally dismiss his feelings? Reflecting on your reactions can help you create an environment where he feels valued and understood. Another crucial element is patience. Men might not open up immediately, but with time and consistency, they'll begin to share more. It's important to remember that emotional sensitivity doesn't look the same for everyone. For some men, it might manifest in subtle ways, like a change in tone or body language. Learning to recognize these cues can help you better understand his emotional state. One way to encourage emotional connection is through shared experiences. Men often feel more comfortable discussing their feelings when they're engaged in an activity, like taking a walk, cooking together, or working on a project. These moments create a sense of ease and camaraderie, making it easier for him to open up naturally. But what about the moments when he seems distant or withdrawn? It's easy to assume the worst, but this behavior often signals that he's processing something internally. Instead of pushing for answers, try offering quiet support. A simple phrase like, "I'm here when you're ready to talk," can be incredibly reassuring. It lets him know that his emotions are valid and that he doesn't have to face them alone. This ties beautifully into the principles of Stoicism, which emphasize resilience, self-awareness, and emotional balance. Stoicism teaches us that emotions are a natural part of the human experience, but how we respond to them is what truly matters. By embodying these values in your relationship, you can create a partnership where both of you feel empowered to navigate emotions with grace and understanding. It's also worth noting that men's emotional sensitivity often shows up in unexpected ways. For instance, he might be deeply moved by a kind gesture, a heartfelt compliment, or even a shared memory. These moments reveal his emotional depth and highlight the importance of fostering emotional intimacy in your relationship. So how can you use this insight to strengthen your connection? Start by observing his unique way of processing emotions. Notice the moments when he seems quieter or more reflective, and approach him with patience and empathy. At the same time, don't be afraid to share your own feelings. It sets the tone for vulnerability and encourages him to do the same. When men feel emotionally safe, they're more likely to open up and engage in meaningful conversations. This creates a bond that goes beyond surface-level interactions, deepening your relationship in profound and lasting ways. Emotional sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's a doorway to connection. By understanding how men experience and express their emotions, you're building a foundation of trust, compassion, and mutual respect. 10. Men are attracted to strength with vulnerability. Let's close with a psychological truth that has the power to redefine how you see attraction. Men are deeply drawn to women who balance strength with vulnerability. It's not just about being confident or open. It's about harmonizing the two in a way that makes you captivating and relatable. Here's why this combination is so alluring. Strength signals independence, resilience, and self-assurance, all traits that inspire admiration. Men are naturally drawn to women who know their worth and aren't afraid to stand tall in their convictions. This strength creates a sense of stability and inspires respect, both of which are essential in any meaningful relationship. At the same time, vulnerability is the key to building emotional intimacy. While strength draws him in, vulnerability allows him to truly connect. It shows that you trust him enough to let your guard down and share your authentic self. This balance creates a dynamic that's both empowering and deeply human, fostering a bond that feels genuine and lasting. So how do you embody this balance in your relationship? It starts with self-awareness. Being strong doesn't mean you have to be invulnerable. In fact, showing vulnerability in the right moments only enhances your strength. For example, admitting when you're feeling overwhelmed or seeking his support during a difficult time doesn't make you weak. It makes you real. And that authenticity is what draws him closer. Here's an example to consider. Imagine you're discussing a challenge you're facing. Instead of trying to appear like you've got everything under control, you share your feelings openly, but with poise. You might say something like, "I've been feeling a bit unsure about this situation, but I'm working through it." This approach shows both strength and vulnerability, making your openness feel grounded and intentional. The key is to avoid falling into extremes. If you lean too heavily on strength without showing any vulnerability, you might come across as distant or unapproachable. On the other hand, if you rely solely on vulnerability without demonstrating resilience, it can feel overwhelming. Striking the right balance allows him to see you as a multifaceted individual. someone who is both inspiring and approachable. But why is this balance so powerful for men? It creates a dynamic that feels both exciting and secure. Your strength inspires admiration, while your vulnerability fosters connection. It's the perfect blend of qualities that keeps him intrigued and engaged. Now let's take a deeper look at how men respond to vulnerability. Many men are conditioned to view themselves as protectors or providers, which means they feel a sense of purpose when they can support or comfort someone they care about. By showing vulnerability, you're giving him the opportunity to step into that role, which deepens his emotional investment in the relationship. At the same time, your strength ensures that the relationship remains balanced. It shows him that while you value his support, you're also capable of standing on your own. This duality not only keeps the dynamic fresh, but also creates mutual respect, a cornerstone of Stoic dating. As Stoicism teaches, relationships thrive when they're built on authenticity, balance, and intentionality. By embracing your own strength and vulnerability, you're not only embodying these principles, but also creating a connection that feels both empowering and meaningful. So, how can you bring this balance into your daily interactions? Start by reflecting on your unique strengths and how they shape your identity. At the same time, consider the areas where you can be more open about your emotions or challenges. The goal isn't to overthink it, it's to embrace both sides of yourself naturally and confidently. For example, if you're feeling uncertain about something, don't shy away from sharing those feelings with him. At the same time, highlight how you're working through it. This combination shows that you trust him enough to be honest, while also demonstrating your resilience and self-awareness. And here's the most beautiful part. When you embody this balance, you're not just attracting him, you're also inspiring him. Men are naturally drawn to partners who encourage their own growth and vulnerability. By showing him that it's possible to be both strong and open, you're creating a dynamic where both of you feel empowered to bring your full selves into the relationship. If this resonates with you, let us know in the comments. Like this video and comment number 1 if you found these insights helpful and empowering. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss more content like this. We've got even more transformative tips and psychological truths coming your way. Thanks for watching, and here's to building deeper, stronger, and more fulfilling connections as we wrap up this exploration of the 10 psychological facts about men. One thing is clear. Understanding men is not about changing who you are or bending yourself to fit an ideal. It's about embracing the insights that allow you to build a connection rooted in authenticity, mutual respect, and growth. Men are complex, just like women, and the key to navigating those complexities lies in recognizing and appreciating their unique ways of experiencing the world. We've uncovered some powerful truths, from the importance of respect and space to their deep emotional sensitivity and craving for adventure. Each fact offers a window into the male psyche, revealing that men are not as mysterious or detached as they sometimes appear. They thrive on connection, purpose, and a partner who sees and values them for who they truly are. But here's the real takeaway. These insights aren't just about understanding him, they're also about empowering yourself. When you approach your relationships with confidence, curiosity, and intentionality, you're not only enriching your connection with him, but also creating a life that feels balanced, fulfilling, and uniquely your own. Now it's your turn. How will you apply these insights in your relationships? Will you embrace his need for space with patience, acknowledge his strengths with heartfelt compliments, or perhaps bring more adventure into your shared experiences? The beauty of these truths is that they're universal, yet they leave room for you to adapt and personalize them to fit your unique dynamic. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and comment below to let us know which fact resonated with you the most. Your thoughts and experiences add so much value to this community, and we love hearing from you. And before you go, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're just getting started with these transformative relationship insights, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Whether it's more tips on decoding men, enhancing your communication, or building a relationship that lasts, we've got you covered. Thank you for being part of this journey. Here's to stronger connections, deeper understanding, and relationships that truly thrive. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay confident, and keep embracing the art of connection.